They rise from the edges of the world, stone giants shaped by faith, solitude, and time. For centuries, we believed these early religious communities were places of silence, of hooded figures, of endless prayer, of lives untouched by the world that surrounded them. What if the real history, the hidden history, is far more human, far more complex, and far more revolutionary? Ancient ledgers, forgotten maps, mysterious diagrams of watermills. Piece by piece, a different story emerges, a story buried in sand, in stone, and in silence. Today, we pull back the veil. This is the untold history of early religious community life. Our journey begins not with kings or conquerors, but with a radical idea. In the 3rd and 4th centuries, as the mighty Roman Empire began to crack, men and women abandoned the noise of collapsing cities and walked into the desert. The desert fathers, the desert mothers, searching not for escape, but for clarity, for purity, for a life uncorrupted by a world sinking into greed and violence. Yet even these hermits were never truly alone. They formed circles of wisdom, gathering around teachers whose voices shaped the very foundation of communal spiritual life. These were the first laboratories of religious community, testing how to live together, how to work together, how to confront pride, ego, and the wild human heart. This spirit of experimentation reaches its peak with one man, Benedict. His rule, often misremembered as strict and punitive, was nothing less than revolutionary, a guide not just for prayer, but for building a society that could survive chaos. Moderation, conflict resolution, care for the young, dignity for the old. Roles assigned not by birth, but by skill. In a world falling apart, Benedict envisioned a community built to endure. And inside these communities, something incredible happened. While kingdoms waged war, monasteries preserved knowledge, but they also advanced it. Here, monks mastered agriculture, perfected animal husbandry, engineered water systems that powered mills, forged iron, and transformed the landscape. The Cistercians, quiet monks in simple robes, became the industrial innovators of medieval Europe, not just building abbeys, but reshaping ecosystems. And the hidden history does not belong to men alone. Within the walls of convents, women found a rare space of authority and brilliance. Hilda of Whitby, Hildegard of Bingen, abbesses who governed vast estates, advised kings and emperors, composed music still sung today, and wrote medical texts centuries ahead of their time. Enclosed yet empowered, their voices carried across nations. But this world was no utopia. Where wealth gathers, corruption follows. Where influence grows, so does conflict. Arguments whispered in cloisters, ledgers swollen with gold, abbots acting as lords, monasteries entangled in politics and power. Human ambition, human weakness, even here they endured. The hidden history of early religious life is not a story of people running from the world, but of people trying to rebuild it according to a different blueprint. A blueprint of discipline, innovation, and the enduring, complicated human search for meaning together. So what are we to make of these communities? They were not islands of prayer. They were living micro-societies, banks, hospitals, universities, research centers, shelters for the poor. advisors to kings. They preserved the flame of knowledge and carried it through centuries of darkness, sometimes gently, sometimes fiercely.